All right, we're live.
Hey, we're live.
I can't get my my computer to work. Not my computer, my camera.
It's kind of an action cam thing you got going on now.
I know, right? I just have to hold it the whole time.
Well, but you need a cameraman. You might need to hire. Hire someone out.
I know.
You know.
I can do a weird. I can just lay it down here, maybe.
You might get some interesting angles. We might get some little upshot of the Dan Rosenberg.
Maybe. All right. Well, welcome to the show. Tonight is
movie night.
It's movie night, but most of our Pittsburgh people tonight are watching the Steelers game, probably.
Well, this is perhaps true. We can provide scores, though, as we go.
It's almost over. They're going to win, so it doesn't really matter.
See, who cares? Does anybody really care? No. If you're really a fan, you would be there. Let's be serious.
Well, there's nobody there.
This is what I'm saying. No,
it's literally zero people.
Well, there you go. Right. That's all right. It's Monday movie night, though, but that for the rest of the country who doesn't really care about the Steeler game.
Right. I'm trying to figure out a way to position my. Oh wait, maybe this will work. I wonder if I put this here.
Why don't you kick off our intro here?
Oh yeah, let's kick off the intro.
Yeah, you can work on your shot.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start the show. Of course not.
Well, hello.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, it is a lovely Monday evening.
Yes, it is Monday evening. We do have a show tonight. And hello, Mom. And my regular camera's not working, which is weird because I'm looking at it here, but then I have to use my phone down here.
Well,
so you're getting an up nose. But I do have the good sound now.
You do sound delightful.
I've got this. I've got
music.
I can throw some music in. I even have a cassette player hooked up now.
Oh no! What were you, Jim?
I finally digitized the Debbie Gibson interview.
Oh, nice!
From 20 years ago.
You've been having a wild time. That's fantastic.
So anyway, we're set up. Tonight is last week we watched, or this week. Take the Money and Run.
Take the Money and Run. 1969, Woody Allen. Because you've been on a Woody Allen extravaganza.
Yeah, I have been a little bit. And the reason is, yes, Debbie was on Penn and Teller Fullis, says Dave Gensel.
Yeah, that is very true. I've not watched that episode yet, though, because anything Debbie Gibson does lately, I find slightly unbearable.
Until Dan's dad, then it'll be fantastic.
Good.
Okay, so I listened to, first I heard Woody Allen on the Alec Baldwin podcast, and he talked about all his accusations, all of his all the stuff in his life.
A recent interview?
Yeah, this was in June.
Okay.
And he talked about his book that was out. I was like, oh, Woody Allen has a book. And so I found it on Audible, and I had a credit for the month. So I didn't pay for it, but, it was included with my technical fee. I guess it does.
I sound like I'm in a well.
Yeah, you sound a little deep. It sounds like you're not in your microphone.
That's interesting. I swear I have my microphone. But you go ahead. I will check my audio settings while you know what? You are right once again.
I'm getting the room noise.
It's very interesting. Go ahead and tell your story.
All right. So anyway, I decided, Woody Allen's a comedian, a writer, a director, an actor, and in all the research I've been doing with this sitcom we've been working on, I was like, Woody Allen is actually somebody that. Oh, there's Eric.
There.
Oh, talk out. I think you're gonna sound perfect now.
Yeah, I'm good now.
There you go. A lot better.
Thank you so much. I want to sound as good as I can. So yes,
yes,
he's a well-rounded, and he's had some drama, but he also is obviously a comedic genius. Would you say?
Yeah, and a lot of things are interesting with a lot of the movies he's done. And I grew up with the story from my mom, of course, that she laughed so hard while she was pregnant with me.
Oh, and Dan just muted. Dan just muted. We can't hear Dan. You there? Dan, we lost you. We
No, I can't hear you.
Oh, well, now I can hear you.
This freaking thing. Hold on a second. We're just having a wonderful time when it comes to
when the audio
and video.
fails, this is the place to
I'm going to go to this.
I think it's the keyboard. Broken everything. It's your piano music. Paul Schaefer is the ghost of Paul.
Can you hear me now?
Haunting you, man. And he's not even dead.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So you're back to.
Troy wants to know where I got the boom mic. I've had the boom mic.
Yeah, he's had it forever.
Yeah, I've been trying to use good audio to record stuff, and for some reason, this system kicks out every time I use. It works perfectly on everything else I have.
But StreamYard, right?
StreamYard, for some reason, it doesn't want to work.
Doesn't like it.
StreamYard.
Don't like it at all. We'll have to go through how you're set up, because I might be able to help you with that later. Because I went through a couple of different configurations with my little mixer and finally came up with something that worked. So depending on how you have it set up, there's a couple different ways to do it.
Okay. Well, we'll talk afterwards.
But tonight we're fine. I can hear you. You sound great. You look amazing.
You're getting the upshot.
A little upshot.
The Seahawks won yesterday. The Steelers won tonight, or they're about to.
Okay. So Take the Money and Run, 1969. This is the movie that your mother laughed so hard to.
That she whacked my head against the chair in the theater, allegedly.
Allegedly.
And I always said, if I was ever on let me get myself some more light. If I was ever on the Tonight Show and Woody Allen was the other guest, I would be able to tell him this story. But he doesn't do the Tonight Show, and nobody really does anymore, and neither do I. So,
well, that is very true.
So I might have got my sense of humor from him. I don't know.
From a bonk on the head.
Yes. Now, I did watch a lot of Woody Allen in the last week, actually.
So you've been in the throes of a Woody Allen marathon.
Yes. Excuse me a second. I'm fixing my light because my lighting is set for the other camera.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
There we go. Much better.
There you go. Very beautiful.
So
had you ever seen Take the Money and Run before?
Yes, I've seen it probably twice in my life, and probably it's been 30 years since I saw it.
Interesting. Now that is interesting. I had never seen Take the Money and Run before. This was a first viewing for me ever. Very, very high score on Rotten Tomatoes, a 90% on the tomato meter. The audience score is 80%. It is a very well loved movie by people who have watched it and rated it.
It is considered the first mockumentary.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Ironically, it opens in 1935, just like Johnny Dangerously. Did you notice a few little Johnny Dangerously that Johnny Dangerously actually did some homages to him?
Oh, there is definitely, the humor is very similar between these two movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, I did not notice any direct. Did you see anything that was actually like?
Well, there's he steals from a pet store.
Well, he tries to, but
it opens in 1935.
Yes,
that's it.
Okay, so those two, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's it feels like you had the whole story wrong.
Oh, I laughed so hard. I almost fell into the aisle and thought I was going to labor. All right, well, that's close.
Now, I think I am envious of that experience. I think seeing this movie in 1969 in a theater full of people would have been amazing.
Yes.
Because just that, having this type of humor being a little fresh, right? And new, and to be in a room full of people who are laughing and enjoying the movie incredibly, I think would be infectious. So I totally get, why this might have been this might have been what triggered your birth. We are talking about Woody Allen's Take the Money and Run. And
did we pick Annie Hall as the movie?
What?
I have this on the thing.
No, that's wrong. We had talked. You never put that up. In my notes, it's Take the Money and the Run.
Are you sure we didn't switch it because we couldn't find it anywhere?
No, we discussed it, but we ended up with Take the Money and Run.
All right, so it is Take the Money and Run.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you sure?
So we're going to share a link here in a little bit. So if you've ever seen that movie or you just want to discuss Woody Allen, I think that's totally fun as well. We can talk Woody Allen in general. We can talk specifically about this movie.
Well, let me get this.
We're going to do some ratings for this movie mid-broadcast. So we're going to want to know if you've seen this movie. We'd like to know what your scores are going to be. So start thinking about that.
Now, this movie was Woody Allen's first movie that he wrote, directed, and acted in. He wrote it with his high school buddy. Go figure.
How about that?
I know. What was the guy's name? God, why am I forgetting his name already? Michael Rose?
I don't
Mickey
remember.
Rose. Woody Allen and Mickey Rose wrote the movie. His future first wife is in the movie, or future second wife is in the movie.
Interesting.
Very small part. He wanted her to play the lead, but she was a nobody. She ended up becoming quite famous and starred in Mary Hartman, Louise Lasseter. His glasses get broken a lot.
There's a lot of stomping on the glasses, and he does it as well.
Yes. But to talk the controversy stuff, I keep looking.
We're going to go straight to Woody Allen. Bypass the movie. That's just, I think if we're going to talk about Woody Allen in general, you should put the link out and let people join into this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that I don't think needs to be just the two of us. We can allow other people to weigh in on Woody Allen, the controversy.
There's the link. I put it in the comments. Let me get on Facebook real quick to add it.
And if you're just a Woody Allen fan and you've not seen this particular movie ever or lately, that's okay. You can join into this conversation because I think I don't know if there's a lot to talk about with this movie in particular. Yeah, we're inviting anybody in, Sam, of course. So come on
right now, Sam. Hold on. Is it normally on the movie show, Sam? We talk for 15, 20 minutes and then we do comments.
Yes. But tonight, since I think Dan has a lot of Woody Allen overall thoughts, which I don't. I do not have I don't have much opinions about Woody Allen one way or another.
Well, I think Dave just said it perfectly. If you're not a Woody Allen fan, if you haven't seen this movie, you're not a Woody Allen fan.
And I think that would be fair. And not that I'm not, I'm not a Woody Allen fan. That doesn't mean I'm a hater. But I will say, I will let this cat out of the bag early. I hated this movie.
Wow.
Oh my, this did nothing for me at all. This was the longest 85 minutes that I've probably had to spend in the past year.
Wow.
And that includes all of COVID. And that includes Howard the Duck.
Wow.
If given the choice, if trapped in a cell and I had to choose Howard the Duck or Take the Money and Run, I'm going Howard the Duck.
Oh my God.
And I like Woody Allen movies. There are Woody Allen movies that I enjoy. I found nothing. There were like 2 scenes in this that I found enjoyable. Outside of that, it just felt so pieced together for me. Like it just felt
it's a mockumentary.
Well, no, I get
they're by definition pieced together.
But it felt like they had filmed bits that maybe just didn't work out so well. So they decided, let's just use the video from that and we'll do narration over it. Right.
That's exactly what they did.
Like there were just parts you could just tell.
You would hate What's Up, Tiger Lily with a passion.
I've never seen that either.
No.
It just, to me, I appreciate what your mom just said. The beginning I was in, because now again, I went in this completely blind, right? No research, no idea what I was getting into, didn't read anything about it, right? So I didn't know how long the mockumentary part was going to go over. I was waiting to see if maybe we were going to transition out of the voiceover and into an actual story. It never really got to any point where I cared or there was any story, where it felt more like, and so I did a little research afterwards, and I agree with what Roger Ebert had to say about it, which ultimately, this is there are funny moments to this movie, but this is not a funny movie. That it's not pulled together in a way that makes it. It's like Woody Allen had a bunch of great ideas that he really wanted to get into a movie, and he put them all in this movie.
Sam popped in and then out. Sam's like frozen. Sam's here, but
I understand why people enjoy it, and I think if I had seen it in a different point of my life, maybe. But
here's Sam.
Jennifer and I watched it. My wife and I watched it, and we were just like, "What's happening?" It was just not what we expected from a Woody Allen movie, and just
what is the oldest Woody Allen movie you've ever seen? Have you ever seen any pre-Annie Hall Woody Allen?
No,
Sleeper,
probably not.
Bananas,
Love and Death.
You always want to know about sex.
Nope.
What's Up, Tiger Lily?
Nope.
So okay.
So wait, have you ever seen any post Annie Hall Woody Allen movies? Have you ever seen a Woody Allen movie?
Have you ever seen Annie Hall?
I've seen Annie Hall.
Wasn't Love and Death before Annie Hall?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Annie Hall
Yes. I think so.
It wasn't my favorite movie, but I watched Annie Hall. I enjoyed Annie Hall. I was like, oh, that was nice. That was good. But I'm also not seeking out Woody Allen. So I know I'm the oddball in the group.
Early Woody Allen is, I wouldn't compare them directly, but there's aspects of, it's very slapstick. It's Jerry Lewis. It's Buster Keaton. It's Harold Lloyd. It's over the top physical comedy. And if that's not a type of comedy you enjoy, I can understand not enjoying this, but I know also that that's not true of you, that you do like some of that kind of comedy.
I do.
So I'm not totally sure what the disconnect was with this movie.
I don't know.
He's an anti-Semite. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Now
Now you've hit the
all
nail
down
on
to
it.
that.
Now
Well,
you've got it. Now
No,
you've
Semite.
I definitely heard the word Jew.
figured it out. That's the
He
problem.
said, no, Jew. I heard he said Jew, not big U. He said Jew. That was from Annie Hall.
I know anti-Semites. I live in Reno.
Oh, you do. By the way, this is the first movie he directed, and he wanted Jerry Lewis, speaking of Jerry Lewis, to direct this movie because he wasn't ready yet. He thought he was, not prepared to be a director.
And I
He
think
had no
that
idea
is
what
a,
he's doing.
and I think that
listening
is
to
a
his
valid
autobiography,
criticism.
he still has no idea what he's doing.
that a lot of what he was doing, he was feeling his way in this picture. So I'm not saying this is his best picture by any means.
Yeah.
But when Rosenblum came in as a consulting editor on it, apparently he helped him rework the movie quite a bit. One example is the interview with his parents was originally presented as a single interview, and Rosenblum made the decision to cut it up and use it as interstitial pieces to transition to additional scenes, which I think worked far better than a monolithic interview would have been.
This is
And the
Annie
nose
Hall.
glasses were fantastic.
Yes, the nose, which, that's almost an homage to Groucho Marx, talk about your great Jewish over-the-top slapstick comedians.
Now, the other thing, too, that was interesting was Woody had this as he dies at the end, gets shot up with a flurry of bullets. There's blood everywhere. They had a visual effects guy did all this stuff.
Oh my!
And somewhere that footage exists because they filmed it. And Ralph Rosenblum, the editor, said, "Yeah, I wouldn't do that." And he changed the music even because it was all this sad. He's showing what a loser life he had. And at one point when they're all running, the whole chain gang is running. They start playing basically the opening theme to Austin Powers.
Right. Quincy
Yes, the same
Jones in the
the same Quincy
Nova.
Jones composition, yeah.
yeah.
And I would argue that Austin Powers is very much in the same comedy vein as this movie.
Yes. I think had I watched this movie at a younger age, I think I would have enjoyed it more because at this point I feel like I've seen so much of this kind of humor. I know this kind of humor. To me it seems so much more obvious now. Maybe it's just too late. introduced to something.
So did you not enjoy the whole Gub banknote scene?
I mean, they bring everybody in.
Funny.
Because that is almost directly ripped off, if you want to call it that, in Life of Brian, when the Roman centurion is correcting the guy's grammar who's writing the anti-emperor Latin, and he's like so fixated on the grammar he doesn't even notice what the guy is writing, which is subversive anti-Roman graffiti. And it's almost exactly the same approach as Woody Allen took with the banknote.
No, and I felt like the good bits that were there just went on too long for me. You know, where it's like, are we still? You know, it's like, okay, we got it. You know, and again, it just felt. It was. There were a couple of moments that I enjoyed.
I'm not trying to talk you into enjoying it. I'm just trying to dig into why. When I think in some ways this is a type of humor you would have enjoyed, you found this movie a fail for you.
Yeah, this movie, it just didn't, and sort of helped my justification, I guess, with that is that my wife was watching and she's wildly into this kind of humor. Like the sillier, the dumber, the better.
That's why I like.
What is this?
Sleeper.
Yeah, Sleeper.
And Hall was great too, but Sleeper.
But I will admit that by that point, Allen had become a better director.
That? I mean, how do you pitch a movie like Sleeper?
The original Sleeper was even
Love and Death.
And I agree with Dan. I agree with your mom that maybe at 29,
in the theater,
it's been a completely different experience for me. And again, in a theater, but here at home, COVID and just
you're blaming COVID.
I'm not blaming COVID for this.
If a stand-up comedian,
Governor
neighborhood,
him for this. No, honestly, it's just for me. It's just with everything that was going on, I put it on, and it was just sort of like, no.
I wonder if you would have enjoyed Bananas more or Sleeper, which have more of a narrative than this mockumentary format, which is more disjointed.
I think I was, because again, I wasn't, had I gone into it knowing the whole thing was a mockumentary from the beginning, because I was kind of waiting for a story to emerge and some acting to happen and some, and that never really.
Did you feel the same way when you watched Spinal Tap?
See, here's what's interesting.
You haven't seen Spinal Tap, have you?
No, you see, here's
Spinal Tap.
I have great respect for Woody Allen. I have great respect for the people who made Spinal Tap. I have great respect for Monty Python, but none of those are my favorites. Like none of those are my go-to. Those are not my top 30 movies of all time, or any of those movies. Like I like Spinal Tap, and there's things in there that I know are brilliant, but to me, it's not laugh out loud funny. It's not my genre.
What about The Office?
No.
See, I don't think you like the mockumentary format.
No, I think I that you might have something there. You might have something there.
Spinal Tap.
Why am I writing
the
with
mockumentary?
You're writing with me because you're not writing a mockumentary.
They kind of preluded to The Office.
And it's not 1969. And I think I do recognize how similar some of the humor is in Johnny Dangerously to this, but and I certainly am not going to make an argument.
Tough time hearing you guys. I'm driving.
Better movie than any Woody Allen movie.
Sam, do you have Bluetooth? Sam, he can't hear us.
No.
Yeah, I'm having a tough time hearing you. I'm driving.
We see you're driving.
How dedicated I am.
We appreciate your dedication.
Hold on.
Is that Christy Brinkley driving beside you?
So
it sounds like
Bananas. I watched Bananas. I watched Annie Hall. I watched another movie called The Front, which stars Woody Allen, but he did not direct or write it. But let's go to the controversy for a second.
I was going to say, let's get off the controversy of how much I didn't like this movie. Woody Allen's controversy.
We're four white men. I guess we can talk about the controversy. So obviously Woody Allen is married to Sun Yi. And Soon Yi,
There we
by the
go.
way, is
That's
50
better. Now I
years
can hear
old. What's that, Sam?
it. Soon Yi.
Soon Yi.
It's great. So tight. Can't believe how
And he
tight
admits
she
that
is.
that's awkward, that he married his ex-girlfriend's adopted daughter, and that she's 35 years younger than
What?
him.
It's America.
He's no Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right.
No, Jerry Lee Lewis married his cousin,
And she was what?
which was equally
13?
as hot.
13?
He's also no
Yeah.
Roman Polanski.
Yep.
He's also no Donald Trump. No offense. But
Ugh.
and I'm trying to look up, all these people are like, I can't believe I worked with him. Kate Winslet just the other day, there was an article that came out. She's like, I regret ever doing any movies with him and with Roman Polanski.
Who said
And
this?
Kate Winslet. And
When did Kate Winslet do a movie with Roman Polanski?
like in I don't know, not too long ago. Woody Allen is still doing a
Really?
movie
I
a
didn't know
year,
she did a movie with
and he's
Roman.
not getting any distribution in the United States. People are equating him to Schmucko from Miramax. I forgot his name already. Harvey
What he's
Weinstein.
going by now is Schmucko.
Schmucko. They're comparing him to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, he was one of the Marx brothers, Schmucko. Yeah.
And I cannot find any credible accusations against Woody and anyone on set. All there is the accusation of his adopted daughter that he adopted with, not adopted with, Mia Farrow already had adopted, and he became her father. And she talked about a train set in the attic, and there was no attic or train set. And Mia Farrow went after him because he took Soon Yi from him and said, I'm going to take your other daughter. And he went to court twice and was found not guilty. He adopted two girls. Two. He's got two daughters with Soon Yi.
Can you
He's got
imagine
two
Woody
daughters
Allen?
with Soon Yi. They're both in college. And when you adopt girls and they do background checks and you've been accused of molesting a child, they do even deeper background checks, and two different
shit.
judges approved his adoptions. So am I saying he was wrongly accused?
Hey,
Maybe. Am I saying that he was Al Frankened? Probably. Because Al Franken, again, we have a guy sitting in the White House that has been accused of raping 13-year-old girls, that has 29 different women that have accused him of sexual harassment, and he's the freaking president, and Woody Allen can't get his movie out in the United States?
yeah.
I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
the last Woody Allen movie I saw
Hey.
was probably Blue Jasmine, which I enjoyed,
That was
but
a
was
stretch.
a little heavy. Midnight in Paris
Yeah.
was excellent.
I like Midnight in Paris.
Midnight in Paris is good. And what was the one where he lost his sight?
Oh, I
he
went and saw that
directed
with
a
you,
movie.
Sam.
That
was the
was
one
a
with
funny.
Tia Leone. Me, you,
that
and
was
Jeff
a-
went to that
yeah.
in LA.
I was pulling for Alan, but his love interest was like Deborah Messing, and his ex-wife was Tia Leone. And I'm like, really? Come on, man.
Well, I think
He's
that's
like
where he gets
To be the writer.
Your ex-wife
He puts
is a fucking
himself in
gymnast.
movies.
Come on, man.
He puts himself in movies with people that should not necessarily be in movies with him.
Probably wants to have sex with him.
Well, and I think he's reached a point in his career where he probably shouldn't be appearing in his own movies.
Well, he's 84 years old.
Yeah, like Mel Brooks, she's no longer.
The best line in his autobiography, he goes, "Well, I'm 84 years old. I'm almost halfway through my life."
I think the best Woody Allen impression I ever saw was from Rick Moranis on SCTV.
Yes,
Rick Moranis did it.
Who is
Great
back,
Woody
by
Allen.
the way? Rick
Speaking of
Moranis
Rick
is
Moranis,
Yes, he's reappeared.
again.
I can't pull the picture up, but
The Ryan
my
Reynolds.
brother-in-law did the lighting for that commercial.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah, and he gave me a behind-the-scenes picture of the blue screen they had to use for it.
I
What?
haven't seen the.
I'm like, "Was that
commercial.
green screen?" He's like, "No, it was blue because that was actual grass in front of them, and we couldn't use a green screen."
Ah.
So that's exciting. But yeah, so am I defending Woody Allen? No, because he could be guilty. I don't know. I just don't think there's enough proof to end his career
The thing is,
in the United States over it.
we hear, we hear secondhand information from him, and we hear secondhand information from his accuser, and it's impossible for us to make a completely accurate judgment. But as you pointed out, multiple judges have said, at the very least, there is not enough evidence to convict. It doesn't mean he's innocent,
Right.
but there is not enough evidence to convict. And so, supposedly in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, I'm surprised by the degree of backlash. No, I also think that the backlash would not have been as severe a few years ago. And it wasn't as severe a few years ago. He was still getting movies distributed a few years ago.
This is all about the Me Too movement when it happened.
Exactly.
and
Which has a
everybody
ton of valuable change that has started to happen from it. But there are some collateral damage. There's no question.
Right.
And
And nobody
you
just wants to be associated with anything potential.
It's a knee-jerk reaction, which
Right.
again is understandable, but it means that there will be some
Yeah.
collateral damage.
But I'm sure he's doing okay.
Oh, and I'm sure he doesn't even necessarily care that much.
His checks are
He has-
clearing
He's
just
always made movies that he just wants to make
true.
for
Have you guys
many,
heard?
many decades. And he's done
have
his
you guys
own.
heard- Sorry.
No, that's
Have
fine.
you guys heard about the 19-year-old that hosts a podcast that said Airplane is no longer funny, and all these other little Z generation fuckers are agreeing with him? I'm like, I mean, how is it possible to have zero taste in comedy? How is it
Well-
possible? Just at a core value. How can you not find that movie absolutely hilarious? You're talking Leslie Nielsen, the first dry comedy he'd ever done, and he fucking killed it.
Well, maybe they don't like gladiator
Killed
movies.
it. What was that?
Maybe they've never seen a grown man naked.
Oh my God, they find it so offensive. I blame the 90s. I
Well,
call it a very special episode decade. It fucked everybody up. Everybody started exploring their feelings, and
that's part of it. I also think part of it is there's a tendency in any genre of, an example would be Pat Boone covering all those Little Richard songs. The Little Richard songs were not palatable to the white audience, but Pat Boone doing them was. And so the original was superior, but this was more palatable. And some of the humor and the style of humor the Airplane either pioneered or brought back, if you will, is now being used in other contexts, and they probably find that funny, but they don't find the original necessarily funny.
yeah, but nobody really got offended. It made fun of all religions
There's-
and all races. It was great.
There's really nothing offensive in Airplane that I recall. On the other hand, if I watched it with a fine-tooth comb or with a hair trigger, I'd probably find a few things.
Well,
There's
yeah,
offensive
today,
stuff in
everything's offensive.
Seinfeld. There's offensive stuff in Friends.
Well,
there's
I
offensive
suppose
stuff
there's
in
the,
Will and
there's
Grace.
the I speak jive.
Yeah,
Some
there's
people
that
may have
whole
found
Yeah,
that
totally offensive. You know,
Um,
the beard on the front of the airplane, on the front of the Arab flag, totally offensive.
The Air Israel, yeah.
Oh, the Air
Air
Israel.
Israel.
Yeah.
God almighty.
Well, in this
You're
movie, I
definitely
mean,
right.
Woody Allen turned into a rabbi for a few hours as the side effect of the vaccine.
That is true.
They, Generation Z would fucking probably have a fucking heart attack if
I'd
they
say
ever
the
heard
F word so much.
Don Rickles stand up.
Oh, Rickles was brutal.
Rickles
absolutely-
was
But Rickles was brutal, but he never
You
said a
could do
swear
that
word.
now.
Yes, and Rickles,
Kind of routine.
yes, and Rickles
Yeah, but he's-
never, Rickles was an insult comic, but you compare him to someone like maybe Lisa Lampanelli, for example, or a Dave Attell, who are both very funny, but they work in a different vein than Rickles did.
Well, but Lisa Lampanelli actually quit. I mean, she's like a life coach now because she can't do that kind of humor. Because, while you are offending everybody, I think I've told the story before when I introduced her,
Mhm.
and she, wanted me to introduce her as the female Dawn Rickles, the Queen of Mean, but I think she's just a really big C word.
Yeah.
That she wanted me to say this. I'm like, no. She was, say it, you bastard. All right. And then she immediately made fun of, the Asian man in the front row's penis size.
Didn't you meet Lisa?
I know Lisa very well. I knew her
Oh,
before she was famous. And
Okay.
she was hysterical, and
Oh,
she
yeah.
got away with it. She was a large woman,
Yes. Mhm.
and so she made the fat jokes, and she's like, make fun of me, I make fun of you. We're all making fun. At the end of her
She
show,
made
was
the
all
promiscuous
about-
jokes and all the I like being with black guy jokes. That was such a I mean, but the other
because
thing
they can
too is
hide behind my ass when the cops come. That was her line.
somehow Rickles found a way that I've never seen an insult comic do of being
but this-
hysterically funny while tearing people apart, and yet
Yeah.
you didn't feel like it was personal. And
No, because the same thing happened in All in the Family with Norman Lear. He made Archie Bunker a complete bigot, right?
yeah,
But he made him so stupid that he didn't realize how insulting he was being, and that's how he got away with it.
but you watch, for example, a Friars Club roast, and
Well, those are the best.
they're hysterical, but so many of the people that are very funny and that I have a lot of respect for, like a Jeffrey Ross, who I think is hysterical, could not work in the same vein Rickles did, because he doesn't have that ability, that rare ability, to be mean without somehow being insulting. It's weird. It's very weird that
Yeah.
Rickles could get away with that.
Well, it was a different time.
Derek
It
hasn't
was
said
also
a word
Rickles.
about a half hour.
Because Rickles was still doing this 10 years ago.
People are so sensitive now. Jesus.
Well, all right. So Eric,
I'm
Eric always
I'm
has an
letting the old
opinion
people talk. It's okay.
Hey. How much older is Dan than you are? How much older is Dan than you are, Eric?
Dan is actually younger than I am by
I'm 3 months younger.
5 months.
3 months.
But I do think that people, you have an affinity to the movies you grew up with, to the humor
Without
you
question.
grew up with.
Without
Right?
question.
There's no doubt that the things your parents thought were funny, you didn't necessarily think was funny. The things that you think is funny, this next generation coming up is not going to find as funny, right? I mean, this is something I see with my kids all the time.
It isn't just the movies that were contemporary when you were growing up. I devoured a ton of movies on American movie classics when I was in my 20s and maybe into the 30s, when it was still early enough. Movies that were before my time,
Right.
The Alec Guinness movies from Britain, the old Peter Sellers films are hysterical, and yet they're before my time.
Right.
Well, Blazing Saddles was so ridiculously offensive compared to what people feel nowadays.
Yeah, there's so
But it
much.
got voted the funniest movie ever.
History of the World Part 1 has so much offensive stuff. in it.
Excuse me while I whip
God,
this
it's
out.
great. It's fantastic. It makes fun of everybody.
But I don't think that works anymore. I don't think that works anymore. I don't think,
I know it's
you know.
need that.
I think
Well, it can.
situational comedy is always funny.
It can, but it's tricky, and you pretty much have to self-produce to get away with that now, because the major studios are not going to back that.
No.
And that's why Woody Allen can still make what he does, even if it doesn't get distribution in the US, because he doesn't have to kowtow to a major studio. And if it doesn't get distributed, oh, well, your loss, not mine.
Right. And over in Europe, all of his movies still play, and all of his movies make money. All of his investors are getting their money back
Oh,
in
yeah.
Europe.
Did
He's
he try
shooting
to
at
move
Galapagos
to Europe?
Islands.
So do we want to rate this movie?
Did you say rate?
I have
or
the
rate?
feeling you're going to be an outlier, Eric.
You want to rate this movie?
I think Eric's going to give it a low score.
I'm definitely going to bend the curve a little bit.
I think
You
we
know,
should
I've gotta
take the
say,
Olympic
I've-
approach and
I've
you
never
toss out
seen
the low and
this
high
funny
scores,
run.
you know?
Oh, you see, but then we'd have to go back and do all our other scoring again because we've never done that before.
No,
You
I'm just going
Russian
to give it
judges.
180.
Really, you love this movie that much?
No, I don't love the movie that much. I'm not going to give it 180, but I was just going to try to balance out your 35 that you're going to give it.
Actually,
He's gonna give it a whole
that is the number. I actually have that written down already.
Dan.
You know him so well, Dan.
I know you well, my friend.
Pretty good.
Man,
That's
have you
pretty
been-
good.
Well, you knew he was going to pick
Any
an appropriate number, and 35 is the year. So
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Chamber-
I'm going 80.
Gonna go 80?
All right, Sam, the way we do this, since you haven't been on in a while, is we do 1 to 100 as to what you think this movie
for take-
scores. Take the money and
or
run.
Take the money and run.
My mother gives
I've
it a
never seen
90.
Nice.
She is a smart woman.
Yes.
And
I'll
I'm
give
going to
I'll give
concur
it
with
an
my
80
mother.
just because it's Woody Allen.
All right,
I'll
so we
give
got
it an
another
80.
80. Is there anybody else in
Woody
the
Allen.
in our comments section here who would like to throw out a number? Adam Jones said he did watch it. Actually, he said he slogged through it. To quote Adam more correctly, I don't know if he's still in there and wants to give a score or not.
Sam, what are you giving it?
Sam gave it an 80.
It's
Oh,
Woody
you gave it an
Allen.
80?
That's
Sam
not
said he would give it an 80.
All right. So if anybody else wants to comment, you can put it in the comment section.
You guys realize I
will
was
be-
driving
yes.
during this
Yeah.
time?
Yes.
Yeah, we
It's
can tell.
impressive.
We
And
can
you,
tell
you-
because we have eyes.
and you only
People
ran
tell
over
me-
4 people, which is really impressive.
Well, people told me to turn my dome light off. I'm like,
I'm on the show.
you have a Trump rally to go to.
I'm live streaming.
That's right, exactly.
Oh, you youngins don't understand how important live streaming is to my generation.
You youngins don't
TikTok.
understand what we're talking about.
Look at that shirt, Sam. Holy moly. Did you go to the casino tonight?
I did not, but you know what I did do?
I think it's Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men.
Are you wearing cargo shorts? Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so what?
Sam, how was your audition?
All right.
It wasn't an audition. I had to cook a pizza.
You making a pizza?
I was making a pizza. I was putting it in the oven.
So Adam likes the Marx Brothers
Yay.
3 series, but can't stand stuff like Seinfeld, etc.
Now, Seinfeld. You know, again, if I was just exposed to Seinfeld for the first time now, I don't know.
Have you
What?
have
is
you
the
ever seen a
deal?
Marx Brothers movie?
Me?
Yes.
I love the Marx Brothers.
Huh.
Isn't that interesting?
Now that-
Duck Soup. Duck Soup is one of my favorite movies. But again, I saw that for the first time probably when I was 14.
Okay.
You
Adam
know.
gives it a 38.
Ooh,
Cool. So better
Isn't
than there.
that special?
better than Eric. I was actually going to adjust my score a little bit to try to help out here.
No, be honest.
Oh, wait, I messed something up. I was gonna up my score here a little bit.
Do we
to try
trust
to-
Eric to do this math? Do we trust Eric to do this math?
No, I'm using a website. Don't worry about that. There's no math happening here.
I'm
I was
just using,
trying to help it get at least a little better rating. I felt that
according to the calculator on ihatewoody.com, this comes in at
I hate Woody.
a whole different website.
Every one of my ex-girlfriends should be on there. You like Woody
Right.
Allen? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You know, there's a
vagina
movie
for
you might like
tonight.
there called Whatever
Oh,
Works,
yeah.
starring Woody, written and directed by Woody Allen, starring Larry David
oh man.
as a. The line basically is a middle-aged divorcee from New York City surprisingly enters a fulfilling relationship with a much younger, unsophisticated Southern girl.
So it is Jerry Lee Lewis. Huh?
Yeah, Woody does have. I mean, I agree. He has a thing about younger women.
Well, he has a thing about New York too.
Most
And New
starring
York. But
actors
having
do
a thing about
male
younger women
starring
makes you.
Let me tell you
And
something.
even in his book, as he's
If I
describing
had
people,
millions of dollars and was successful, I would have a thing about younger women too.
And
does
there,
that make does having a thing about for younger women make you a rapist and make you
As
sexual?
long as you're over 18, it doesn't.
And as you get older, the pool of what is a younger woman constantly grows.
Yeah, so I mean that's all I'm looking at. Yes, and I was a little bothered in listening to his autobiography that every time he talked about a female, it was objectification. She was a beautiful woman. She was a 10 and a half.
Well,
And that's
Alfred
considered
Hitchcock was
bad
pretty
now.
much the same way. I mean, he wasn't the
4
womanizer,
years old.
but Alfred Hitchcock.
Definitely
really-
I never messed around.
Alfred Hitchcock just loved the cold blonde, you know, the Ava Marie Saint, the Tippi Hedren. That was the look he was going for, and he very much objectified them in that way. But he was also a great filmmaker. You know, you can't always separate. I mean,
it's true.
some of these guys are jerks. Doesn't mean they're
Yeah.
not brilliant.
I watched a special about De Palma, one of my favorite directors, the other day.
Louis De Palma?
No.
exactly.
Oh no.
Brian De Palma.
Nice hands,
Nardo! Hey, a Mary Lou Henner reference. There we go.
Nicely
Yeah.
done.
I remember the
Mary
exact
Lou
name.
Henner.
All right. Okay. So our scoring here. See how comfortable you are with this.
I like that there was nothing in the 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s. That's
Yeah.
how widespread this is.
It's a pretty widespread range, but this sandwiches this movie in our list right between Game Night and Back to the Future 2.
Okay, so not in the bad
Believe it or
territory.
not, I actually think that's exactly where I would put it in my own list.
Look at
Yeah.
you with your fancy camera. You're in focus, but your stuff behind you
Oh,
is
the
out of
background.
focus.
Yeah, you see how that
So
works.
what are you on,
Nervous.
portrait? Or did you buy a really good piece of glass?
I'm on my phone too.
He's on his phone. This is a DSLR, so it's like, watch this.
Okay.
See, that's usually what I use.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mine's not working tonight.
There it goes.
I'm just using the webcam.
So, just for fun, we'll rate one of our other
I was
old
gonna say,
movies.
what's the old one we're rating here?
Let's do Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Something everybody's seen.
Yeah.
great movie. Great film.
We're looking for a score from anybody and from everybody for Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
A little harder when it's not like something you've just seen.
I've got a number. Okay.
You got a
The
number?
camera's working.
Is it 1 to 10 or 1 to 100?
1 to 100.
It's 38 to 90.
Well, so far,
100.
I'm going 85.
85.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, John Hughes at his prime. Come on.
Ferris Bueller, I'm going to do an 83.
I'm in that ballpark, but I'm going to do a 79. For
100. 100.
you're doing 100.
Fuck yeah, it was great. It was a great film.
He just wants to make sure that nobody guesses a number higher than his.
Yeah, this
This
is
is
Price is
not-
Right.
Not the
You don't have to worry about someone
This
saying
is not
101.
The movie Price is Right.
movie
That's the
The
best
person who
movie
comes
ever.
closest.
we've ever had anybody give 100 for something. That's fun.
You have to leave
anybody-
yourself
Ferris
a limit.
Bueller. I mean, Ferris Bueller and Planet of the Apes. The original, not that abortion of a remake.
No, not the Tim Burton thing. No.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, 100.
Wow.
Wow, there you go. Perfect score for
Yeah,
Ferris Bueller.
38.
Anyone in the comments wants to throw out some numbers too. We'll see where Ferris Bueller ends up. I was tempted to just go ahead and do Howard the Duck tonight.
I was going to ask, so what remains unrated?
Okay, so the movies we haven't rated still yet are Dolomite Is My Name, Midnight Run, Galaxy Quest, It's a Mad Mad World, and Howard the Duck.
You left out a Mad there. But okay.
Too many meds.
Okay.
So yeah, so we
In
do have
another month and a half,
movies
we'll
left.
rated everything.
No, yeah, we've got a while until we'll have everything rated, and then we'll get a big graphic to bring up where we can show. I'm actually, so far with the way we've done this, I'm actually very comfortable with the order. The actual scores, like, you know what I mean? When it's like,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah, that's tricky.
that's a little tricky, but the actual order is like, yeah, okay, yeah, I can live with that. You know, that's you know.
Are you saving Howard the Duck for last?
Well, I was tempted to do it tonight, just for some
You don't want to give too low scores.
I don't want to be the guy who always has the lowest score,
30s, yeah.
you know. And I didn't want it to be directly obvious
Oh,
that.
is that the Rick Moranis?
Oh,
That's Rick Moranis shoot right there.
nice. Yeah, I just didn't want anybody to compare my my Woody Allen score to my Howard the Duck score.
I loved Rick Moranis. I loved Jerry Todd on SCTV. His Jerry Todd was just hysterical.
It is
Who
interesting.
is Jerry Todd?
That was the guy that had all the AV equipment. Who was always doing video, and he basically was the techno guy on SCTV.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I
Jerry.
remember like Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Oh, of course, Bob
And
and
then
Doug. Yeah, that was the best one.
John Candy did a lot of cross-dressing.
Oh yeah, well, he also did. Yeah, and he was Johnny LaRue, which I always think of because my immediate supervisor at work's last name is LaRue. So every time, never told this to him, but I always think of John Candy when I see his name.
Can I ask you some trivial trivia?
In a moment, Adam gives it a 70. Did you get that, Eric?
I did get that.
That was for Ferris Bueller.
That's Ferris Bueller at a 70. Which
70?
70 is still the very good category. That's not perfect.
70s, yeah, okay, just like in high school. 70s passing. It's passing.
so unless anybody throws out another number, we'll wait and see officially where that ends up.
So we should do a movie next week that Eric will like to make up for this.
I was trying to think. So this actually this puts Ferris Bueller very high on our list. This actually brings in Ferris Bueller at number 3
Ooh.
on our list.
Well, it
with
should be number 1.
Back to the Future at number 1, Airplane at number 2,
Whoa.
Ferris Bueller at number 3, and Spaceballs at number 4.
And that's the only one I would disagree with. I would put Spaceballs significantly lower, but
Spaceballs would be lower, definitely.
a lot of it. Well, even compared to Mel Brooks movies, I can name at least 4 or 5 Mel Brooks movies I like more than Spaceballs. So
there is a little gap between Spaceballs and Ferris Bueller. Like there's some room in there for us to get some movies in between there.
and I'm
So
sure we
the
will.
next question is, what's the next movie?
What's the next movie? Isn't that a great question? Absolutely.
And is it
Can
streaming?
Can I pick one?
It's streaming. I think we go straight to the streaming services
You can.
this week, and we pick something particular easy.
It's easier to find. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so it's not just a free for all. So you have okay.
What, Sam?
It's not just a free for all. I can't pick a movie. It's
Yeah, you
they've
can,
already
you can
been
throw
prepared.
it out.
We can throw that, and we can see if it's available on streaming. But we do want to use something that's streaming, and we do comedies.
Comedies
Oh,
only and
comedies
streaming only.
Only.
It's only
Yes.
the comedies. Okay, all
So
right.
Friday the 13th is not on the list.
Okay,
No.
okay. Idiocracy.
Oh, that's a weird movie.
That is a very weird movie.
We're there.
It's the
We're there
electrolytes.
now.
It's got electrolytes. Come on.
How do you know that's what plants need? Because it's what plants need.
Crave. It's what plants crave.
It's what plants crave.
I might-
Baden.
I might suggest Office Space.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good movie. That's that's a solid choice. I'm going through what's currently on Netflix's comedies list, and man, is it
It was a very interesting. It was a very interesting comedy.
Well, there's some controversy with Netflix right now.
Oh yeah, that what is it called? Cuties.
Cuties.
Oh, Cuties. Let's do that. No, I'm kidding.
What?
Oh, I thought it was Cooties. Now it makes so much more sense.
Oh, yeah.
What is it called? There's a controversy with
There's a controversy with a movie called Cuties that is a French film that won a Sundance Award, and it's about a Muslim girl who starts hanging out with neighbor girls who are doing a dance troupe, and they're like 11, and it's
Basically, yeah,
about the
It's sexualizing-
sexualization of young girls.
it's sexualizing it at way too young of an age.
Oh,
Right. But it's actually about that,
Right.
and everybody is making the movie that it is that.
But we already did a Woody Allen movie. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke.
It's not like it's Dance Mom.
I was talking about the other movie. I'm lost. I've never heard of Cuties.
Okay, so next Monday, Cuties.
Yeah.
Cuties, whatever. What? I never heard that one. I'm sorry.
And if you want to go older, one that I think I would love to eventually get to, because I don't think it's as well known, but I love it, and I know Margaret loves it, is The In-Laws.
I'm going to add those to my list.
Alan Arkin,
The In-Laws.
Ooh, Alan
Peter
Arkin.
Falk. Yeah.
Peter Falk. Okay.
Yeah.
Alan Arkin.
All
I like
right,
Alan Arkin.
here's what we have.
Alan Arkin's great. He's the perfect, just pissed off, bitter comedian. He's great, but he's not like angry
not the
bitter.
remake of The In-Laws from 2003. Yeah.
Why can't I just search comedy on? They make it very hard on the app.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Here's
comedy?
some of the comedies they have listed here on Netflix on their most recommended comedies list here. Grease, which I'm actually tempted to throw out Grease as an option.
No.
Most Wanted,
Beast?
Super, Johnny English, Kung Fu Hustle, Eurovision, the Story of Fire Saga.
Yeah, that's the Will Ferrell.
Oh, that's
Rachel
actually
McAdams
kind of
movie.
funny. That's actually kind of funny.
That's very
Sleepover-
recent.
The
That's
Sleepover,
2020.
Ocean's 13, The Other Guys, The Croods, The Interview, Martin Lawrence, National Security,
There's nothing Martin Lawrence has ever been in that I have found funny.
Madagascar 2, The B Movie, Adam Sandler, You Don't Mess with the Zohan, Murder Mystery,
God.
Johnny English
Before
is
you
actually
name-
very funny.
So far, you've named one movie I like.
Starsky and Hutch, Kangaroo
Yeah.
Jack, Up
God,
in Smoke,
dang, really?
Sleepless in Seattle, which I don't really throw in the comedy
Well, that's a
genre.
rom-com, so that's a whole separate genre.
rom-com.
See,
Really?
Nacho Libre, The Cat in the Hat,
Okay, Nacho Libre is
Ridiculous Six,
badass.
Turbo, Dinner with Schmucks, Hotel for Dogs.
Well, if you want to get into a movie that you probably could not make now, Tropic Thunder would fall into that category if you're talking about
Ooh.
Jack Black.
It's so fucking sad.
This is very true. This is, yeah.
It's so sad.
Orgasmo,
But you're
Delta
probably
Force,
really
Plane, Sex, Zach and Miri make a porno.
That's actually not a bad movie. It's not that good. Really, the best movie I think you've named is, in some ways, The Other Guys is not a bad movie. Will Ferrell and which Wahlberg? Is it Mark Wahlberg?
It's Mark Wahlberg. I couldn't. Sometimes I could buy their partnership, and then other times I couldn't.
It's uneven, but it's funny in spots. Yeah.
How about Bad Grandpa 5?
That's
No, we have to watch all five of them.
Yeah, you gotta. First, we should start the Police Academy marathon.
All in 1 week. Star Troopers. This is good.
Oh,
Sam,
Starship
maybe we can
Troopers.
get, Steve Gutenberg call in.
Starship Troopers is great. It's
Not a
Starship
comedy.
Fantastic. Oh my God, that's what I'm saying, for a comedy. It's
I like
hilarious.
when I think it was Jon Stewart referred to Neil Patrick Harris in that as Doogie Himmler.
I'm checking
That
over at
movie
Amazon
is
now.
so hilarious.
So far, we've got 2 votes. We have Adam has voted for Office Space.
I think Office Space would be universally appreciated. I'm not sure the scores would all be super high, but I don't think anybody would hate it.
No, it's enjoyable. It's not one of my favorites. You know, I
I mean, it's Mike
Give it-
Judge.
love it. I'm supposed to love it, so I know that
Julia is dating now, by the way, Dan.
you know.
Huh?
Julia is dating Mike Judge now.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Beavis or Butthead?
She went out with him a few times, and I don't know what the deal is, but you know, Jules.
Adam says no grease, please.
Yeah, really.
Oh,
I try to minimize my.
Chino to come on.
I think we could do that as the next
Comedy.
double feature sometime. Is Grease
try to-
Grease too?
I try to minimize my Travolta as much as possible.
about the birdcage? We should do the birdcage.
The
Ooh,
Birdcage is
Birdcage would
good.
be fun.
Yeah, the birdcage is really funny.
Oh, Birdcage.
Yeah,
is great.
Azaria Williams.
Funny
And
thing
Gene
happened on the way to the forum.
Gene Hackman is great in that.
I was never a big Robin Williams fan.
A funny thing happened in The Way of the Forum is very funny. It's weirdly edited. It doesn't flow well, but the individual scenes are very funny. It's a very strange movie.
That's how I felt about Take the Money and Run. The Spy Who Dumped Me.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
That's what. That's
do
what
you remember the movie IQ? Tim
Oh, is that
Robbins
the one with
and Meg Ryan?
yeah, with Meg Ryan and Tim Robbins and Walter Matthau
Yes, Watermouth
as Einstein.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that movie.
I missed,
You like that movie more than Take the Money and Run.
I missed sharing The Office.
totally
miss
scored that
Sharing the
higher
Office.
than Take the Money.
I miss sharing.
For some reason, my
The
mom
Office
has
with Walter
texted me
Matthau by
ideas.
5
Maybe off the
minutes.
show.
Idiocracy is a little bit adult, depending on what you're going for.
I love it.
And that's another
I've
Mike
seen
Judge,
that movie
correct?
like 10 times.
So it'd be in the
Oh, yeah.
Dolomite category. The Dolomite was just language. There's more than just language in
I
Idiocracy.
hated it. I tried to watch it. I absolutely hated it.
Night at the Roxbury is streaming on Amazon.
Rockford is pretty funny. I liked it.
How about Corky Sherwood?
Well,
Corky
election.
Sherwood?
Any
How about
any
Wayne's World?
any movie with Chris Kattan in it is going to be demoted.
Corky, he did a movie called Corky Short World.
Sherwood, or what is it?
No, it was Corky Romano.
Corky Romano. That's it. Yeah, it's Chris Kattan.
Yeah.
He's just
That killed his career.
he killed his own career.
Well, Deuce Bigelow, we could do.
Well, no.
Oh,
I read-
Rob
I read
Snyder
the book-
marathon.
I read the book,
The
Baby.
animal. Let's do the animal.
I read the book Baby Don't Hurt Me. He had a lot of factors. He broke his neck on SNL.
Oh, I know. He has some lingering injuries. There's no
He's
question.
from. He went to high school in Bainbridge Island.
Lorne Michaels, and Will Ferrell both finished his career.
I've seen him a
They
few
killed
times
his
on Bainbridge.
I have seen him post SNL, and if that is how funny he is post SNL, he finished his own career.
He was one of my favorite characters of all time. He was so physically.
Did you love Mango?
talented.
Did you love Mango?
I loved Mango.
I knew it.
Did I
Oh,
bring that up already?
That scene with him and Jennifer Lopez, they're bitch fighting or whatever. Oh, this is in my pants.
We're looking at Sam's ceiling. We're never going to get a pick here.
I now. Well, hold on. Is Office Space or Idiocracy streaming?
Office
Idiocracy
Space.
is on Amazon.
Office Space is
I like-
on Stars/Amazon for streaming.
Well, that's how this works.
So you have to do your 7-day free trial of Stars if you want to watch
Yeah,
it.
so that's not as ideal.
I
if you
bought
deliver yourselves-
Idiocracy. Does that count? If I bought it?
How about this is Spinal Tap?
Well, I'm not sure you want to do 2 mockumentaries in a row, but
But does it?
I would
does it
love
count
This
if
Is
you
Spinal
buy-
Tap.
Does it count if you buy the movie streaming?
Is this is Spinal Tap?
You're allowed to spend your money however you like.
Well, yes,
Well,
absolutely.
no. I'm just saying does that work in the way this works.
We've done a couple of weeks in a row where things have not been as easily accessible, and so we want to try to do something. Oh, geez, here we go. Netflix is making noise. Hold on, let me see if I can.
I mean, Take the Money and Run was definitely one that was not as easy to find.
yes.
No.
So, this is Spinal Tap is not streaming on either Amazon or Netflix at this point.
I could send you one of my several copies.
Yeah, it's hard to find. I couldn't find it.
Including the British Blu-ray, which has some scenes, additional extras that are not on the U.S. Blu-ray. And my None More Black edition, which includes the T-shirt.
I searched for This is Spinal Tap, and one of the results was the Puck Hogs.
There's the Ruddles.
The Puck Hogs follows a men's recreational hockey team through a brutally hilarious weekend tournament. In tradition of the cult classic, This is Spinal Tap. This hockumentary, because it's a hockey movie, comedy about ice-prone boys turning into real-life men and stick handling the puck over the goal line of life.
Oh,
Wow, that just
that
inspired
had
me
to
to.
that had to be made in the 90s.
I saw a really good movie on
Actually,
Hulu.
2017.
But
That's 2017 on Puck Hogs.
oh shit!
I saw a really good movie on Hulu
Check your listing.
called
what
Palm
would that be?
Springs.
Dan? Palm Springs?
Palm Springs with Andy
Yeah,
Samberg.
Samberg? Yeah. I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
It's funny. It's Groundhog Day-ish.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That was where I'd heard of it because the comparisons to Groundhog Day are inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
You know, you could
everything
choose a
that's on Hulu
plethora
right
of.
now. It's like original.
How about My Cousin Vinny?
That's
A
pretty
funny movie.
How about Heathers?
Yeah,
Is that truly a comedy?
Okay, I hate to throw this one out there because I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy it because there's a reason I've never seen it. But Pineapple Express is streaming on Netflix.
I just it was too. It was I don't know. It was just too much pot humor for me.
Okay, so let's do Up in Smoke.
Smoke. Well, it wasn't about. I don't know. Cheech and Chong were just different. They were just more
Yeah, that's
talented.
different.
What about Johnny English? You brought that one up. How about a good Rowan Atkinson movie?
I just watched that probably a month ago.
Is that a good
Oh.
movie?
It is
funny.
It is good. It is not, to me.
Funny good.
It is.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. How about
Okay.
uh
I can never aim.
Now, My Cousin Vinny is on Hulu.
is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It's on
That's very manly.
Hulu. Right next to Lumberjack Nelson.
But I also
What?
don't know what people think of that film. So,
How about the Bellboy?
The
Go
what
on.
now?
oh
Jerry
man,
Lewis.
classic Jerry Lewis.
You want to go way
Oh.
back? Let's do Duck Soup.
Cinder.
Would that,
this
would
is
that be your
Cinder
first black
Fella.
and, would that be your first black and white movie? The Bellboy?
Is
I
the
would
Bellboy
think
black and white?
I
Is
thought
that
it
black
was.
and white?
I think it is.
Where's
What
that
about
street?
Cinder? What about
It's on Hulu.
Cinderfella?
Well, Cinderfella and the Bellboy are inextricably linked because they wanted to do. He wanted Cinderfella to be released at a certain point, on a certain schedule, and the studio disagreed with him. So he agreed to let them do it if he could make the Bellboy, and he made it in an incredibly short period of time. And it's a better movie than Cinderfella.
The Bellboy is also streaming on Amazon Prime.
Let's do the Bellboy.
Let's
Go
do the
for it.
Bellboy. Why not?
Wow, we're going old school. This is.
I never saw that one.
Would this be the oldest movie you have yet done?
This is, I would think so, 1960.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
never
pretty
saw that
old
one.
movie. Definitely not, you know, and I do enjoy the idea of seeing something I haven't seen, which honestly was, you know, I was interested in taking.
Yeah, we know how well that works.
So
This is a mockumentary about a guy that works at a hotel. You'll love it.
actually, Bellboy is one word. Bellboy is one word. Did you know that, Dan?
It's one word?
One word. 4.5 stars on Amazon Prime. IMDb rating is 6.5. An hour and 11 minutes. Pretty short.
Yeah, it is a short movie.
1 minute. Stanley,
It is.
a quiet bellboy, just doing his job at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach.
Oh.
One day,
It has a lot of pantomime in it, and it is
And
among
we
the
lost
movies.
Adam Jones.
What about Back to
I'm
School?
sorry. I'm out.
he's out.
Dangerfield.
It's not a contest.
Back to School.
Adam, we're
Ron
trying to
Dangerfield?
expand. Trying to expand people's comedy minds. You might find something you like
That
by
one.
watching something you don't know anything
Not
about.
that one.
And then next week we're doing All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah, that's a comedy.
I think we will keep our eyes open for Office Space to hit.
Yeah, if you want to limit yourself to like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, of course, would be something, you know, and I'm adding Adam's suggestions to our list here. So these are definitely movies we can keep.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure would be a fun one to watch.
Which one?
Paging
What?
Mr. Herman, Mr. Pee Wee Herman.
Oh,
Paging
yes.
Mr. Herman.
Oh, Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, that's on my list. Yeah.
Yep.
I have a
Rat
list
Race,
of about 20
funniest
films
movies
you
ever.
should get to.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead, Princess Bride,
Princess Bride would be great.
A Fish Called Wanda.
I see. We should have talked about Princess Bride before we hit the bellboy.
What about
Is
In
it
and Out?
available?
maybe
In and Out, I was surprisingly not that impressed by.
which one?
Really?
Yeah, In and Out, I didn't really. I don't know.
Great hamburger.
I didn't. It wasn't my favorite comedy, but I loved some of the dialogue in it. It was really funny when he was trying to like mask that he, wasn't gay.
And I like Kevin Kline a lot, but just for some reason that movie, I know we could do the Wild Wild West. If we love Kevin Kline.
I like that movie more than Take the Money in the Run.
God. That was such a bad.
You're really
movie.
ruining your credibility here, Eric.
I'm all right with that. I'm speaking out for the weirdos out there.
The
No,
90s.
you'd rather
that
watch
Disney
a movie
energy,
A
and
giant
just
steampunk spider attacking a train than watch Take the Money and Run.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it
Just
It was in the
sold it to
90s
me,
when
right?
they had that ability to like do a lot of computer work and they went crazy with it. It was a horrible time for a movie.
It was a bad movie. It's a
was
bad
real-
movie.
Will
It's
Smith's
a
like
bad.
third summer in a row where they're like, oh, Will Smith's going to roll the box office again, right? He had, Independence Day, and they had Men in Black, and it was like, oh, I'm like the king of summer. Here comes Will Smith with Wild Wild West.
Well, West. Oh shit.
Now, what Men in Black is also on my list. That's one that eventually would be worth doing.
I agree. Men in Black. We could do all four movies. Very nice. Very nice with the artwork there.
You'll giggle,
giggle.
chuckle, roar with laughter.
With laughter.
Look at his- look
They've
at
already-
his
And
face.
girls and Jerry serving up a laugh a minute.
Wow.
Written, produced, and directed by Jerry Lewis.
Eggs and girls.
And this
Look
is
at
like the
his
movie that made
face.
him,
Yeah.
in some ways, made him such a star in France, which is the stereotype Jerry Lewis, who's big in France, because this movie was huge in some areas. It really, yeah, and it is funny. And as a kid, I was in elementary school, in middle school. Jerry Lewis was comedy gold for me. I could not watch enough Jerry Lewis movies.
Oh yeah, no, he was great in elementary school. I couldn't get enough of it. Couldn't get enough. It was
Hook,
great.
Line, and Sinker. Oh man. Yeah.
Oh, what
Finding
about
Thor.
The Way Out?
Oh, Way Out. Yeah, with the Russians.
Yeah, he was an astronaut. He ended up like
Yep.
banging the
Yeah.
chick at the end. They're like, way out.
Yep. Oh yeah, with the good old rock and roll. Yeah.
Yeah, they're floating and everything. It was great.
Okay,
It was
so-
the first time I ever saw Jerry Lewis kind of be funny and then cool. And the chick at the end. I'm like, that's
It's a
badass.
series of silly sequences.
What was
What a
that?
great tagline.
What?
It's like they're describing what a movie is.
That would have worked for Take the Money and Run. I'm sorry.
Huey Lewis in the News. Sports. It's a series of songs with musical notes.
All right, so Adam is not a fan of Jerry Lewis.
He's insufferable.
Now, Adam, I'm
I'm
going to
not
ask you,
anymore
how
either.
many Jerry Lewis movies have you watched? Original, old school Jerry, not the stuff he was in when he was fat Jerry Lewis, and not the NBA telephone.
Although you have to admit,
Professor,
the King of Comedy,
Professor.
The King of Comedy, which is a late Jerry Lewis movie
That's
with
right.
Robert De Niro,
Yeah.
it's a very and Sandra Bernhardt, and the first time I ever saw her on screen, a very odd but funny movie.
De Niro should stay away from comedy. He should just stay away from comedy. He's
A little
horrible.
bit. Yes, you should. Funny guy.
In
Are you
the
saying
Joker
that?
movie, the Joker, he played a talk show host. He was awful.
Are you talking about Meet the Parents is a bad movie?
He's good
Well,
at Meet the
it's okay,
Parents, Meet the
but
Fockers.
He's good at Meet the Parents, but he played himself.
Oh, he's one of
Yeah,
those
he
guys that
does.
often plays himself, you know? We talked about that a few weeks ago. What was the actor we were talking about always played himself?
No,
Tom Cruise?
He's
Yeah. No, it wasn't Tom Cruise. It was a movie we
It was
watched.
somebody we saw. We did a movie of.
Oh, it was Michael Keaton, I think, wasn't it? That he always was Michael Keaton?
Was it? No.
No, it was
What was the movie before
Going
that?
through the list here to see. Oh, it was from Game Night.
Oh,
it was-
yes.
yeah.
Jason Bateman. Yes,
Uh,
that's
Jason
right. It
Bateman
was
is
Jason
always
Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all
So
right.
Adam, okay, so you've seen he's all right. So you've seen Nutty Professor, and that was it. Well, I mean,
I hate Jerry Lewis.
this is
This one movie wasn't good.
You could bring some hate though. Bring some hate next week. That'll be okay.
you watch it and tell us why you hate, but you can't hate it without watching it.
Yeah.
What?
We're all about the hate.
What movie is this you're talking about?
Watching the Bellboy.
He's talking about the Bellboy.
All right.
Oh, the
And then
Bellboy.
so in a few weeks, we're going to be doing a double marathon for the beginning of October. And we want to do something for Halloween. So we need people to be thinking of multiple movies that somehow
Ooh,
together.
Beetlegeist.
Poltergeist.
They have to be
No,
funny.
Beetlejuice. Beetlegeist.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is a ballad, even though I'm not as big a fan of it as some people are. Hocus Pocus certainly fits the bill.
Scary movie. All right.
Damn it.
All right, I'm just writing these down, and we'll.
You could argue then, I don't know if is The Nightmare Before Christmas a comedy?
Okay, The Grinch. The Grinch.
Are you talking about
Jim
the
Carrey?
Mike Myers movie? That's a tragedy.
No, The Grinch. The Grinch. The Grinch.
That's a
and
Christmas
Jim
movie, isn't
Carrey.
it?
Yeah, that's a half-hour TV special though. That really wouldn't.
and not as Halloween themed.
The Grinch.
Not as much. It might be horrifying, but not as Halloween themed.
I mean,
Okay.
the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown would fit better, but even so, I'm not suggesting that.
And we could also do Ghostbusters.
So you're a fan of Jim Carrey.
Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and rip the Band-Aid off of those two.
So you're a fan of Jim Carrey then?
In the
I
right
like Jim
role,
Carrey.
I like Jim Carrey in some. I'm not a big fan of Ace Ventura, for example. But in some roles,
Okay.
Jim Carrey is quite good.
We have to have a Jim Carrey
Like
night.
Sonic the Hedgehog,
We do
as
have
Dr.
the,
Robotnik.
So for your
He had a-
consideration
he-
for Halloween,
He did have a definite genre. He did have a definite genre. Because
Well, he would sometimes step out of it.
Do
Like
we
the
need it for
Truman
this,
Show.
Eric?
yeah,
is that?
when I saw
Do
that
we even need it
movie,
anymore?
That's all right.
Let's see, what other Halloween
I
films?
was going to throw out for Halloween. We've got the potential. We could do a duo of the Addams Family movies, Addams Family and Addams Family Values, as a possibility.
Mhm.
What other choices are in there for comedy? There is an Elvira,
Young Frankenstein?
Young Frankenheim,
Frankenheimer.
Edward Scissorhands may also be appropriate.
Is that a comedy?
is that a comedy? It's kind of that dramedy.
I don't know. It's a little dramedy.
He fell in love, cut hair,
Cuts hair,
you know, cuts hedges.
it's a whole thing.
Fucking
Warm
hilarious
bodies.
when he cuts that one hedge.
We could have a very interesting conversation about the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I still remember when Christopher Lee hosted Saturday Night Live and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, meet Loaf." Ladies and gentlemen, Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Awesome.
That's funny.
All right. Well, that's definitely something we're still going to work on this list for potential.
Oh, Monsters Go Home. Wasn't that a fine film?
Monsters
What?
Go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Adam Jones put that up.
I don't.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Monsters Go Home. Yeah. It was actually,
Batman,
which was
Batman
interesting
and
because
Robin-
the Monsters was black and white, but Monsters Go Home was in color. So
So we could do Beetlejuice and Casper, which are both movies about families that move into a house with unexpected people living there.
is that about Casper
Would
Weinberger?
Batman and Robin, the movie, it did come out Christmas time. Would that count?
It's not Christmas.
These
It's
are Halloween, Sam, not Christmas.
for months.
Ah, shit!
you
I'm in the
want
wrong-
Keep doing Christmas
The
movies.
Easter Bunny's coming to town. That would be perfect.
We all want 2020 to be over, but we can't jump
Yeah,
that
we
far.
do.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Is it a
Yes.
Halloween movie
Yes.
though?
Die Hard is not a Christmas
What is
movie.
not a Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
It totally
yes,
is a
it is.
Christmas movie.
No,
Totally
Bruce
not
Willis
a
says
Christmas
it's not, so
action
it's not.
movie.
Bruce
it-
Willis has flip flopped on that over the years. We could
Yeah, but
do
he's not the arbiter.
Clue. Kind of has a Halloween vibe to it.
That's what. That's
Any
why,
murder
became a
murder
movie
spoof
star.
would arguably fit.
it was
You know,
released in December.
Murder by Death would be one.
True. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy
Love at
the
First Bite.
And of course, we could just watch all 4 of the Attack of the Killer Tomato movies.
But I'm serious. You could add Love at First Bite to your list.
You know, I used to really
Was
enjoy
he
that.
in The Killer Tomatoes?
There are 4 movies.
Attack
Attack
of
the
the
Killer
Oh,
Killer Tomatoes Eat France, Killer Tomatoes Strike Back, and Killer Tomatoes Return of the Killer Tomatoes. Yes.
Pittsburgh's
And
own
Jim
Rick Rockwell, the
Carrey-
first
Jim
Who Wants to Marry
Carrey's
a
in it?
Millionaire guy.
Yeah.
I'm curious
in-
about the
Darby
Killer
Conk.
Tomato movies.
He's
Jim
in the third
Carrey's
one. He
in
plays
the
Lance
first one.
Boyle.
You're saying Jim Carrey's in
Lance
Killer?
Boyle.
Jim Carrey's in Killer Tomatoes?
No,
And that's probably
he's
the best
in
joke in the whole
first
movie
one.
is Lance Boyle.
Carrey is in Love at First Bite. He is not in the Killer Tomato movies. George Clooney is in one of the Killer Tomato movies.
No.
Was that before ER?
We should pick a night where we do campy cult classics that nobody knows about.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Adam Jones throws out there.
That's a good one.
Hey,
A movie
it's
that I
8:20.
love
Let's go home.
We could watch
Oh,
this.
wait,
Have you seen Santa versus the Martians?
Santa Claus versus the Martians. Mystery Science
It
Theater.
was in
did
the
that.
50s.
Really?
It was.
You want to go to
It
Christmas?
was Santa versus
Actually, that
the
reminds-
Christmas
Martians.
movies.
And
Sam's
Santa-
ready for Christmas.
Look at that
Santa
back. Look at that
drove
closet
around
door
in
that's
a
open behind
different
Sam. That's going to open up and something's going to jump out at him.
What?
The door behind you keeps opening. It's weird. Is there somebody in there?
What door?
You don't see the door behind you?
It's a window.
Yeah, it's not
It's a
opening.
window next to the door, Dan. That door is not open. You're seeing an optical illusion. There's a
Oh.
window to the left-hand
Yeah.
side of that door.
It's probably my cat.
Oh, it does look like it's open a little bit.
Sam's ready for Christmas.
Look at that back. Look at that closet door that's open behind Sam. That's going to open up and something's going to jump
Oh,
out.
it's a replay. Awesome.
Oh, what about Arts of Darkness?
Somebody in there?
No, sorry, Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness?
Army of Darkness. Oh man.
Oh, man.
That was a good one.
We
That
could
was
watch
fantastic.
All right. Well, let's go with this. It's
I'm gonna
late.
be at Halloween.
It's not Halloween yet.
Yeah, we got some
Next
time
week,
still.
We're
We've got
watching
a couple
Jerry
of
Lewis, his writing, directing, and acting movie, The Bellboy.
I understand there are gags and girls in the
No,
bill.
no. You can't have both.
No, it's supposed to be
Gags or
series
girls.
of funny events with gags and
It's so
girls.
funny.
If you put girls and
It's so
gags, that's a whole
funny.
different
It'll make
movie.
you shit.
Woody Allen would watch it.
Well, yeah, I would watch it.
All
I
right.
do want to throw out
Gags
there.
and girls.
If you- and this is, that link
Sam?
is probably mangled.
Sam?
If you like funny things, Trace Bellew
Hello.
and Frank Conniff, ex from Mystery Science Theater 3000, since they are no longer able to do their tour riffing movies live, they now do them online once a month. And there's one tomorrow night. They sell 10 for $10. You can watch it live and then download it to watch it later too. And
Really?
Jonah Hill is also appearing in the post-show Q&A with them. So and they're
There's
doing a
the
movie
link, everybody.
that is the awful link. I need to simplify that link.
Write
But,
down that link.
But
Write that down.
I just followed that link and that.
hold on, let me type that. Let's see here.
Seriously,
Let me bring it back up so everybody gets the whole link.
hours. You can't even see Dave underneath the link.
David Sam disappeared.
Yeah, sometimes Facebook mangles links pretty badly. But for $10, it is going to be comedy.
I'm gonna do that. That's
Well worth the money.
fantastic. Yeah, thanks to Dave. We've seen them live. They're amazing, funny, and so enjoyable.
There is a better link.
So what I was going to say was, Sam,
What?
it's good having you back. You haven't been on the show in a while.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Friday night is our regular crazy night where we can do crazy characters and games and things.
Oh, yeah,
Monday
Friday.
night is
Yeah.
our regular movie night.
I would join, but I have to be up at like 3:45 in the morning.
Well, you had mentioned the possibility of maybe moving to Saturday for this weekend.
I thought about that, but now I have a game night on Saturday.
Oh,
You're watching the movie Game Night on Saturday.
No, my some friends of ours want to do a Zoom game night.
it's a murder mystery. They've hired a murder mystery guy, and with the COVID,
And beat Dan up.
I love the guy on Dateline. Was he there? Oh no. He said he was at the gym working out till late. But was he? That dude.
I think
On
you just lost the
Dateline.
stream here.
I'm sorry.
Nobody has any idea what you're referring to.
I was talking
There you
about
go.
Dateline, that creepy guy on Dateline.
All
That
right.
creepy
Well,
Okay.
and then so Friday nights is our Airedale hour or so. Saturday morning's the car show,
right?
and Monday night's the movie show.
Dan's just saturating the airwaves.
of entertainment.
I was going to do 7
Saturating
nights a
the
week, but I just can't do that right now. People aren't at home anymore. Like people are out and about. We're supposed to be quarantining, but we're not.
I
People
went to
are.
a bar tonight with
Did you
my
have
remote control
do the whole-
car. I walked in with my remote control car.
And that's why you came home
You know
alone.
what? I drove it out an hour and a half later.
Okay.
Sam's wearing his
Story.
President
Trying
Kirkman
to-
glasses from Designated Survivor.
Trying to turn back into a virgin, you see. Next time, I'm going to bring my telescope.
All right, and on that,
On that note, absolutely.
we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll
This
be
has been a
back
lovely
Friday
episode
night.
on Sequitur Theater.
We'll be back Friday night. Bye, everybody.
Bye.